Whether it's stargazing, enjoying nature trails, or seeking out wildlife, Providence Canyon in Lumpkin, Georgia is the ideal setting for any outdoor enthusiast.
Yeah, Ray, it's often referred to as Georgia's Little Grand Canyon. It is listed as one of the 7 natural wonders the state has to offer. Fortunately and unfortunately, it's also the result of poor farming practices back in the 1800s. And although times have changed and farmers are now better stewards of the land, we still can't help but be in awe of the canyon's incredible beauty and history.
The farmers, 1800s, they didn't have Google like we do now, so they had no idea. They just started growing their cotton. And through plowing and tilling, they exposed that sand. And so within about 20 years after they started seeing 4 to 5 foot gullies forming. Now that's become 150 feet deep and 300 feet wide. The canyon keeps getting bigger, but it keeps getting wider. It's not getting any deeper because it's actually eroded away so much that we've hit the water table. So if you go into the bottom of the canyon, you'll see there's always water in the bottom of the canyon. But we still lose 3 to 5 feet of canyon wall every year. So the canyon's about 300 feet wide now, but that's an estimate. It's been around for about 200 years now, and it just keeps getting bigger. There is roughly over 1,000 acres of park property. The park is 1,000 acres big. The canyons take up 300 acres. There are 16 different canyons, but if you come out, then you can only go into 9 of them. If you do the 7-mile loop, we have a 7-mile loop and a 3-mile loop. If you go on the 7-mile loop, you're actually able to see some of the other canyons, but you can't go down into them. So only 9 of them are accessible, but of those 9, there's plenty to see. It's not made of stone. Like we talked about earlier, it's nothing but sand. So it's all sandy soil. So when you go down in there, you'll see different colors of sand and you'll see clay, primarily kaolin and that red Georgia clay. It's primarily hiking. We don't allow any type of ATVs or biking down into the canyon because everyone always asks. But it's mostly hiking. There's lots of animals to see. A lot of people come out here for birding. We have some special plants that are down in the bottom of the canyon. The plumleaf azalea, we have botanists who have come from all over the world just to see that flower because it only blooms. It's the only azalea that blooms in the fall. And we have the largest wild stand, and it actually grows in the bottom of the canyon. And one of the coolest things that we do out here, we have an astronomy night that's hosted by the Coca-Cola Space Science Center from Columbus, Georgia, and they come out and they have actually made us one of their dark sky locations. We don't have any light pollution out here, so you can actually see the Milky Way across the night sky, which is really cool. And then if you're down here, you can actually visit the visitor center. There's lots of great information that they can tell you down there, and we offer guided hikes every single weekend at 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. on Saturdays and Sundays with a naturalist who will take you down into the canyon and tell you a little bit more about it.